Around this time last year, Will Smith shook the world. You all might have guessed it by now. Will Smith walked on stage and slapped Chris Rock. Since then, Chris Rock has been the center of all controversies, and we might have a new scoop for you all. Let us take you all to Netflix's first ever live event. And this one is hosted by super talented comedian Chris Rock himself. Adam Sandler might have just rekindled the old feud. So Adam Sandler was asked what he felt about his best friend Chris Rock's special show, Selective Outrage. He went on praising him on how well he hosted the show and how composed he was throughout the show. Recently, Adam himself was seen on Cloud9 when he accepted the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor in Washington, D.C. His longtime besties Chris Rock and Jennifer Aniston were present there to support him. During the grand festivities, Sandler shared his thoughts about Chris's show. He thinks it was unbelievably funny and relaxed. Chris made it look natural and he was just being himself. Adam showered Chris with praises. Although these comments were sweet, the interviewer was really looking for some drama and asked whether Adam thinks there was something that Chris should not have joked about. He didn't really quite follow it, so he was directly asked about what he thought about the Oscar drama. Will literally was burning with rage when he walked on stage towards Chris Rock. According to Adam, the joke that Chris made about Jada Pinkett was actually quite funny and thoughtful. It wasn't exactly the kind that would provoke or catalyze any sort of negative reaction. Adam even complimented Chris for being so natural and for being himself rather than trying to come up with artificial jokes to maintain his image as a comedian. Other than that, his live show was also so natural and Chris eventually crushed it. It was super exciting to watch. Adam has been on toast the whole time since Chris shared the news about him hosting a show hosted by Netflix. The moment he knew it was being aired, he made a point to watch it then and there. When he was watching the show, he was in his kitchen. The whole thing was so cool and good that he rewatched it several times. Adam also expressed his admiration by saying that it was really one of those amazing experiences that comes out only once in a while. How would you all have responded when you find out that your best friend got humiliated in front of way too many people and maybe the whole world? It would infuriate you, alright? Adam, on the other hand, didn't directly talk or mention the infamous Oscar incident. He chose to be on the calm side and mostly professed his support to his longtime friend. Although Adam kept talking on and on about Chris's performance and how entertaining the whole show was, he made a point to mention the quite obvious part. He was rather pleased that Chris mentioned it on his show and gave the right response. Chris, being an amazing comedian, had to face an assault despite the fact that he was talking at a very prestigious event. The slap itself went viral and the search list position was all occupied by the keyword "Will Chris slap?" Memes took the internet world by storm and in no time even schoolgoers came to know about the incident. It was in fact blown out of proportion and several rumors joined the party shortly. This must have been the first time anyone who was presenting an award had to face something humiliating and disrespectful. What did Chris really say about Jada Pinkett? Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane too? Can't wait to see you. Who is G.I. Jane anyway? This comment was made in reference to the action movie started by Demi Moore, who shaves her head as a part of the character. Jada's buzz-cut hairstyle was already talked about, and Will made a joke when Jada actually shaved her head due to alopecia. The joke wasn't definitely taken well, and Jada was seen rolling her eyes at the joke. Chris, however, didn't file any charges against Will for choosing violence instead of may he words or maybe silence. The whole world was super focused on what Chris would tell about the incident or maybe dismiss. Chris said that Will Smith wasn't the only one who should have been blamed for what happened. It should rather go to the entangler Jada Smith. Chris said, "We all been cheated on. Everybody in this industry has been cheated on. None of us have ever been interviewed by the person that cheated us on television. None of us. Why the F would you do that as? She hurt him way more than he hurt me, okay?" In fact, Chris was pointing out the so-called affair Jada had with August Alsina several years ago. Although the dust has settled down, some wounds heal but leave a scar that reminds us all about the unfortunate events. Chris and Jada took a break during this time. She and Will somehow patched up after that. Jada even revealed that she and Will Smith took their time and effort to save their relationship and even found a new space for unconditional love. Although she did say some meaningful details about their relationship, it must have been quite humiliating to publicly have an affair with her son's friend. On top of that, Chris was told on his face that she was having an affair with a younger man who was his son's friend. Rock also said that everybody called her a B after the entanglement news spread. Chris tried to call Smith but didn't answer. Chris also revealed that Jada called for a boycott of the 2016 Academy Awards and requested that Rock shouldn't host the show as he wasn't nominated for his film Concussion in 2016. However, Jada's close acquaintance overthrew the claims by stating that she never did such a thing and said publicly through a Facebook post that Chris would even make a great Oscar host as he is good at what he does. The drama doesn't end here. Chris said, "I made some jokes about her. Who gives an F? That's how it is. She starts it, I finish it. That's what the F happened. Nobody's picking on this B. She started as S. Nobody was picking on her." According to the statement Chris made, Jada had some issues with Chris from the get-go, and he was simply getting his sweet revenge. He had to react, and he reacted. However, Jada didn't quite find the mind to accept the claim and stated that Chris is being obsessed about her and she had no part in his feud with Will Smith. She was in fact shocked at how many times he used the B word in his statement to refer to Jada. She also thinks that Chris doesn't care much about what anyone thinks of him and he was just up for revealing some nasty jokes. One of his jokes didn't make it to the final product of the Netflix show as it was quite brutal. Any guesses on what might have been the joke, folks? Anyway, Chris was enjoying his sweet little ride by making fun of Harry and Meghan, the Kardashians, and Will Smith slapping him last year. As per what we know, it seems Netflix thought that some of the jokes were not to be said and trimmed them off the final video. Well, Chris didn't take this cue and went to perform it elsewhere. So Chris said that he would reveal a joke that was edited from his Netflix special while attending the Mark Twain Award ceremony honoring his best friend Adam Sandler. He seemed to be comparing the slap to Paul Pelosi's attack. He said, "The former Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul Pelosi, is the only guy who knows how I felt," the 58-year-old said for the USA Today. "Just me and you, Paul." Netflix thought this would be sensitive and cut the joke. Chris was referring to a horrific incident where Pelosi was hit by a hammer. He suffered a skull fracture and even had a surgery. Although he was recovering, it was later revealed that it would take quite some time for him to be back to normal. Chris then went on talking about how he met his best friend Adam Sandler and showered him with praises. Just like how Chris adores Adam, the latter also feels the same for him. Although the Oscar drama did come to an end, it would be rekindled randomly just like how it was now. At least the netizens and paparazzis would make sure to have a feast out of it as long as they can. Well, fans think that the Smiths don't really have the sense of humor. What do you all think? Let us know in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button while you're at it. Until next time, see you.